I got my first unicycle 2 years ago. I was 63. I got it in response to what I perceived as an unmet need in the 4th of July parade here in my town of Sierra Madre. When I ride in the parade, I like to wear something patriotic. This year I wore a white pullover shirt with stars on a blue background around the collar and around the arms. And my first thought was to talk to some younger guys I knew in town and say, why don't you get a unicycle and ride it in the parade? That's what the thing needs. And then I thought, why don't I do it? It took me a long time. On the net, they say it takes you about 15 hours in the saddle to learn to ride it. It really took me a year to learn to ride it. I fell off hundreds and hundreds of times. I can't tell you how many times. And it didn't take me too long to figure out to wear knee pads, elbow pads, and wrist pads to avoid, getting a serious injury. Riding the unicycle is like taking a walk. I get on it, I ride. I very rarely have an unplanned dismount. Maybe I'll run over a pothole or a pine cone or something in the street, but it's not as if every little lump or bump will make me fall off it. One of the features of a unicycle, completely unlike a bicycle, is you have to be in control of the pedals at all times. In other words, unlike a bicycle where you can get on the bike and if you're going downhill you'll find yourself going 25, 30, 35 miles an hour. That doesn't happen on the unicycle because your feet don't turn that fast. In that sense, it's a shade safer than a bicycle because you're never out of control. You always have to sort of have control of the pedals and where you're going. Who rides a unicycle? Really, it's not your usual activity. I certainly hope to teach my granddaughter how to ride the unicycle. She's 4 now. I think she'll be riding a bicycle when she's 5 or 6. I've told her, Winnie, as soon as you can ride a bicycle, we're going to get you a unicycle, and someday you're going to ride in the 4th of July parade with me. She doesn't quite see how it's all going to fit together yet, but that would be something that would be fun for me. To me, the whole activity of unicycling is just sort of, it seems to dramatize the thrilling new directions my life has taken since I retired from my career as an anesthesiologist. It's been Katie bar the door. I tried something that was completely different, completely new, completely foreign to anything I had ever done before. I've been able to learn how to do it. This old dog has learned a new trick. The day isn't right unless I get out there and work up a lather on the uni.
When I'm riding the unicycle down a steep single track or a steep muni run, I'm into that and I'm not into anything else. And that's one of the great things about it is that muning will cause you to be 100% present in whatever you happen to be doing. That point on the trail, that point in space and time, and you're just fully absorbed in it, and it takes everything that I have and then some to be able to get down these things. So it's a full absorption into the present moment and exactly what you're doing. It just blocks out everything else. You're just there. You just are. And that's a great thing. Blessed to have these great, super long, single track, world-class downhill mountain bike trails that are really steep and really rocky, and they go for a really long way. Some of these things descend 3,000 or 4,000 feet in 5 or 6 miles. So it's a really, really athletic thing. And the ethic that has evolved around riding those trails is that ideally you don't do a lot of hopping. Instead, you try to roll it. Muning is a flow sport. For my money, There are only a couple guys that I've seen that are just unbelievable, and we have one of them, and that's Ale.
It's very difficult to predict where mountain unicycling is going to go in the future. Everybody is really open to meeting each other. Everybody's extremely friendly. I haven't seen this in any other sport, where people are so open-armed and willing to get to know each other. There's no egos involved whatsoever. To me, the biggest name in mountain unicycling is probably Chris Holm. He's, to my knowledge, the only person that has a formal sponsorship that has supported him in trips all over the world so that he can show the rest of the world what mountain unicycling is and what you can do on a unicycle.
All the people I've met in unicycling are great, and it's a really diverse group, simply because there's so many different ways to express yourself on a unicycle. There's the freestylers. They practice inside a basketball court or some flat surface that's indoors, and they just ride on a flat surface doing these incredible balance, sort of finesse tricks. And then there's the trials guys who are jumping over stuff and riding on pipes and flying down stairs and what have you. And that's another group, and that's athletic and really amazing. And then now street, which is sort of the skateboard version of unicycling. And Heaton and his boys up in Washington, and scattered people all over the world, France, so forth. What they do is just amazing.
I'm Dan Heaton, and I've been unicycling for about 9 years now. I started unicycling in 1996, so I've been riding for about 9 years now. And I got a unicycle as a Christmas gift back 9 years ago. It took me 3 months to learn how to ride it, a lot longer than it takes most people. In high school, a friend and I, we made a video called Universe, which basically revolutionized the whole sport. It's one of the main reasons why everybody's doing all the extreme unicycling that they're doing now.
That's the truth, baby! The Vader moves fastly. The Vader moves fast. The Vader moves fastly. The Vader moves fast.
Seattle is actually a really good area for unicycling. There's a lot of riders in this area. There's a lot of places to ride. You got, areas where you can go mountain unicycling that are 30 minutes outside the city. There's a lot of nice urban spots you can go and ride at. One of our favorite spots to go and ride at is Gasworks Park, which is a nice park in Seattle. Has all kinds of different terrain for jumping on and doing tricks off of.
Not much we can do about it.
We started doing grinds 5 years ago, and now people are grinding. I think the biggest stair set somebody's done is 16 stairs. Just kind of copying or mimicking what people are doing on skateboards and bikes. And the tricks now are actually kind of evolving into their own. We're learning kind of what the assets of the unicycle are. I don't want the sport really to grow too much. I kind of like the community of riders that we have right now. And I maybe in my own selfish ways, I don't want it to become this big mainstream thing that people do, which I don't think it would anyways. It's kind of an oddball thing.
Will never be a sport quite like skateboarding where everybody has one in their garage. And I think that's just because it looks a little more intimidating, even though in actuality it isn't.
Sometimes when the bicyclists pass me, they'll say, "What happened to your second wheel?" I devise some answers like I'll say to them, "Well, handlebars are for sissies, don't you know that?"
It's a rush, man. I mean, it delivers a king-size rush. And as far as a rush goes, you know, I've hung off pitons that big, 3,000 feet up El Capitan. I know what a rush in adventure sports is, and the one you get from Union is really second to none.